think it's the R56. I've already unscrewed the filter. I used the 29. Today you're supposed to use the 27, but the 29 worked at that cheap kit on Amazon. So just turn this counterclockwise to get that off. Now we're going to use an 8mm to get the one off the bottom. And I am going to need my torque wrench for that one, because the Jiffy Lube guys basically put this on with an impact wrench. So I got to get my 2-foot torque wrench for this. That's crazy. This has reverse thread and you got to turn it clockwise to open it, because I would have definitely over torqued it trying to get it open. So remember that. If you're changing the oil on the BMW, you've got to turn it clockwise, not counterclockwise to open. Let's do it by hand now. For all the master techs out there, if they get a chance to watch this video, can you explain to me, with the new filter and fuel pump, why would it possibly still stall at a red light? Not to where it just completely stops, but it feels like it's choking of gas. I thought it was the fuel pump, but it clearly wasn't, because I did hear that hesitation at a stop sign when I was driving to the gas station, but it didn't do it again. It only does it once in a blue moon. So what could that be? Is it the crankshaft sensor, O2 sensor, mass airflow sensor? You tell me. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. What shocked me is when I went to go get the oil today, they told me I had hardly any oil in there, so I put a whole quart in before I drove off. And I'm looking at that bowl down there, and it takes 3 quarts just to fill it up. So it's definitely had some oil in there. It only takes 4.5 quarts. And I know the torque converter holds about a half a quart. So 3.5 quarts is what I'm going with, just to be safe. And because the dipstick, you can barely tell if it's full or not. It's the hardest dipstick I ever had to use. What you just missed is it only took the 10mm socket to take those nuts off. So I've already removed that. Unfortunately, it's really hot outside, so I wanted to get this job over with. So I missed a lot of stuff. I wanted to show close-ups of the hose and how to get the connectors off. That was my main goal for today. And I got you a good video of that, hopefully. So, what you do, you take this little knob
So
right
basically
here.
you stick the screwdriver in like that,
Push
and
that
pull it
out
out,
like that.
and then you can pull it off. It does not slide off easily like they show in the videos, so I try to show you the most realistic real-world videos as I can. I do fast forward through a lot of stuff, but at least you get an idea of how to get some of this stuff off. It's not as easy as they look. They do the hard stuff, and then they take it off when it's done.
If you want to keep
I don't get
note
it.
of where it
They
was
try to
last,
make it look easy when it's
a
not.
little mark here, a little mark there. I'm going to line these up next time. Alright, now we're going to bang this thing off.
Now, I really should have showed you how long it took me to actually get this off, because I beat on this like it owed me money for 30 minutes trying to get that to unscrew, and it just wasn't budging. But finally I started hitting a little harder. I couldn't tell if it was righty lefty-loosey or not. I didn't know if it was reverse threads like the oil tank, but even ChatGPT said it was reverse threads, but it wasn't. It's counterclockwise for this. And once I figured that out and hit it in the right spot, I finally got it to open. See, right now I'm just tightening the damn thing, but I finally did get it off doing it counterclockwise. So there you go. Right here I'm looking for any markers indicating which way you're supposed to turn this. Does it go counterclockwise or not? ChatGPT said there's an arrow indicating which way it's supposed to turn, but I don't see any arrows. Do you? But just remember, counterclockwise.
For 30 minutes trying to get this off. I just finally started getting it loose. I just had to hit it a little bit harder. Oh. I was worried I was going to create a spark and it blow up in my face because I'm using metal on metal. Did you see that? The pressure of the tank just shot it out of the spot that I'm supposed to actually pry it to get it to come out, and broke the head of the fuel pump. It's in two pieces. It's a good thing I'm replacing it because it just broke in two. Luckily I have another one to replace it with, so there's no going back at this point. Now this part kills me right here. This little hose is supposed to have a little tab on it that you're supposed to push in and pull that little suction piece off. Well, you'll find out shortly. I pushed in and I pulled out, and I pulled so hard I just broke it off completely and it stayed inside the hose. I just used some pliers to pull it out. It wasn't a big deal, but it definitely did not come unsnapped like I've seen multiple videos where they just snap it off. You can clearly see me pushing the tab in, pushing the tab out, and it just was rusted welded on there, I guess. I don't know. It just was not coming off. I knew it was just on there by a little suction cup. So I figured it would just pop out if I could just muscle it off. But that didn't work. You can clearly see that this tab is not going to release. No matter if I pull it out with the screwdriver, as you can see, it still won't come up. Even when I push it in, like I'm pushing in now, it's still not coming up. What I want to do is give you a clear picture of what this tab looks like. As you can see, I pushed in and I pulled out on it. Either way, it was not releasing, period. At this point, it's time to go to Credible Hulk mode and just rip this damn thing out of here, because I know it's just basically a suction connected, but somehow it's some bitch is welded in there. I can't get it out for to save my life. As you can see, I'm trying to pull it out and push it in. It just ain't budging. So evidently I pulled too hard. It just snaps it anyway. So this is definitely not the way to do it. You're supposed to push that tab in and pull it out, but every time I pressed it, it clearly wasn't doing it. At this point, I'm about to go Credible Hulk mode. Right now, I cannot believe I just broke it, but it's no big deal. I got a replacement. That son of a bitch just took the whole nozzle with it. Damn. It should have not been that hard to pull that damn thing off. Now I'm just pulling the residual fuel back into the tank and getting ready to install the new pump. This would cost me about $1,300 if I would have took it to a dealer for them to do this. So I'm pretty happy I got it done. As you can see in a second, you'll see that I've taken zip ties to secure the wiring to the pump so it doesn't have any opportunity to get squished in between the pump and the cylinder there where it slides up and down. From the research that I've done, what happens with these cheap pumps is basically the lines get cut when the tank is filled and it squishes all the way down. It cuts the lines. So if you zip tie it to the pump and keep it out of the harm's way, you shouldn't have any issues. Now I have to figure out how to hook everything back up without binding it to the other connector here, because the electrical connector doesn't give you much play to connect it to, and I don't want to do it I don't want to cross it and cause any stress on the wiring. So it looks like I got it right. Shouldn't have any issues based on what I'm looking at here. Also, I paid a guy $100 about a year ago to replace the filter for me, and we put back in the old pump, so it never got replaced, and it's got 200,000 miles on it. And right there where I'm pointing, that's supposed to have a hose sticking in there, and that one, the other pump, did not have it, so it was just sitting in there free floating. I don't know if that made a difference or not, but I put it in the right way,
like
as
so
I'll show you
here.
here in a second. See, the hose is secured where it's supposed to be, in that little cylinder spot right there. Unfortunately, I didn't give you a better shot of it, but you could see the hose was down there.
It's in there nice and flush. This only goes
Now,
one way.
you're not supposed to do this with a full tank, even though I had about a half a tank of gas before I did this. If you notice in the beginning of the video, you saw how it just shot up on me. You're supposed to be able to pry that out to be able to get the pump to come out, and it just shot up on me because I had too much fuel in it before doing this. But at this point, I had no choice. I had to get it done. Alright, right now we're just trying to get the gasket to line up perfectly, so it should sit flush once you get it. There you go. It's in the right spot now, and there's only one way this thing slides in, and there you go. I wish I had a better angle. Unfortunately, it was about 98 degrees out, so I was in a hurry to get this job over with. So unfortunately, I didn't give you guys the quality video that I was wanting to, but this is what I got. Also, you have to open this tab back up to make it snap back on. I was just trying to snap it in. See how you got to pull it out? Usually use a screwdriver to do that. And you'll hear a nice little click.
There we go. Nice and neat.
Sorry about this part. I did have a low tire. Unfortunately, this tire keeps losing air. I cannot find the hole, but I wanted to show you how this awesome little jump box slash air compressor works. I mean, it took me from 10 psi all the way to 33 psi in just a few minutes. So I'm fast forwarded through here so you don't have to watch this whole thing. I tried to show you a close up on the tire, but it was blurry. You can't see anything. That's just a shadow right there. And there we go. 33 psi is where I'm supposed to stop at. And we should be right there any second now. And we're going to get back to the job here. Taking a break, really. But it should be done now. We're at 25, it looks like. And any second now. 32, 33. It's not a bad little savior device you want to keep in your car at all times. Notice it still had 4 bars after doing that, but that air hose was really hot. It gets really hot, so don't try to do 4 tires with it at once. Probably melt the damn thing. But it's a great little tool to keep in your car. Right now I am banging the fastener that holds the fuel pump back to the tank, and that was not an easy job, taking that off.
Sorry if you didn't get to see that.
And putting it back on.
All I did was just screw that on.
A little bit more difficult because I had a full tank of gas. It kept shooting up on me, but I fast forward through that so you guys didn't have to see it. I was showing you a close-up of the crush washer that you want to make sure before you put the screw into place, which takes an 8mm Allen wrench.
You could turn it to the specs.
If you want to torque this to factory specs, that would be 25 foot-pounds. Alright, unfortunately I didn't get to see where I torqued the filter to 30 foot-pounds. I think it's supposed to be 25 foot-pounds, but I used a 29-inch socket as well, and you're supposed to use a 27. So I got away with the 29 because that's the smallest one that came in my kit. And I'm also gonna put 3.5 quarts in here as well when it's supposed to do 4.5, because evidently there's a quart in the torque converter, because it registered as full with 3.5. But I'll show you some close-ups of a dipstick with just 3.5. So I only used about 3.5 quarts of this OW30 STP, which literally cost me 38 bucks with the filter to change the oil on this Mini Cooper. So that was awesome. Right now I'm trying to figure out if it's registering as a half a quart low or is it full, because I know there's about a half a quart or more in the torque converter, and I only got about 3.5 quarts out. So let's see what it shows. But before we do that, let me put some coolant in here, because this car is drinking coolant like crazy. I don't know where the leak is. I can't find it anywhere, but it's definitely leaking, or it's evaporating because the car is getting so hot. I just replaced the fan on it too. I need to replace the O2 sensor and the mass airflow sensor and the crankshaft sensor, just to be safe and replace everything, because none of it's been replaced. Right now I'm tightening down the bolt on this 10mm nut for the battery that's oversized. I have an oversized battery, that's why I have the flap sticking out like that, because it doesn't fit like it's supposed to. So I'm securing the rubber seal, and then we're going to check and see if the oil is over its full mark or not. That's better. 90.
Oh, look where the gas mileage went up to. Oh my goodness. What? That's what I'm talking about. We were right here before I put the pump in, and then it jumped up to here. Haha, I knew it. Oh my God. It's back, baby. See where we're at here.
Now this is concerning. Even though I just filled this up, I went and cranked it up to do our little test, and it already dropped down to the second line. So what could possibly be sucking the coolant out like that when I cannot see it dripping anywhere? And it looks like it's full with just 3.5 quarts, as you can see the residue on the napkin there.
I don't want to put too much oil in it.
So I end up putting about 3.5 quarts in, and that looks full enough for me, or at least ChatGPT says it looks good based on the pictures I've uploaded to her. But you can still see it shining right under the full mark, and it's leaving residue as I scrape it off. It's so hard to read these BMW dipsticks. I don't know why they made it the same color as oil, but it just blows my mind. Look at this. It's how you supposed to tell that's full or not, other than the shiny spot. But I have bad eyes. I can barely see that. I can't tell. But we're going to roll with this. Hopefully it works. If I didn't say it before, I'm clearly not a professional mechanic, and it shows, but I think that looks okay. So if you professional mechanic out there, what do you think? Let me know. I look forward to your comments. Well, you can clearly see I drove it to the gas station, and it says 290 until empty, which it's kind of weird because it's literally only 2 bars shy from full, but I'll take it. It's a lot better than it was before. And here's a quick look at the old pump and the engine, and that's the hose that gave me so much trouble to come off. And then of course the final look at the dipstick. Does that look full? It's got 3.5 quarts in it. We're going to roll with that, hopefully. Hey, if you want to change your old on the cheap, Advanced Autos, 38 bucks with filter. Can't beat that. That's with 4.5 quarts.